Hello viewers, in the previous class we have seen few sums regarding line graphs. Now in this class we are going to look at one more graph which is related to line, then after we will go for bar graphs. Now look at the question. In the following questions, the graph shows the demand and the production of different companies. Study the graph and answer the questions. Now these are the different companies given. Look at the companies A, B, C, D, E, F. There are 6 companies which are given on x-axis. On y-axis, units in lakh tons, 1000, 2000, 3000, 4000, 5000 and 6000 given. Now the production is represented by using a symbol triangle and the demand is represented by using a symbol square there. Now A, B, C, D, E, F. If I ask you what is the demand of company C, then look at company C and the square shape is the demand. Therefore, the square shape is what? 2600. So that's how you need to identify. So that's how you need to interpret the data. Now look at the question he asked. The demand of company B is what percentage of the production of company F? First, demand of company B. Look at the demand of company B. Demand is a square shape, that is 3150. Is what percent of the production? Production is a triangular symbol here. Production of company F. F is 4500. Two zeros cancel anyway. Look at 45 into 7 gives you 315, because we all know 45 into 6 is 270, then plus 45, 315. Therefore, simply it is 70 as it is, 70%. X is what percent of y? X by y into 100. That is the formula used straight away. But in place of x they have given a statement, in place of y they have given a statement. Look at the next one here. What is the difference between the average demand and the average production of companies in lakh tons approximately? So he is asking you the difference between the averages. So what you can do is you can find out the difference and you can find out the average of it. He is asking you difference between the average. We find out average of differences. Both of them are actually the same. First, write down what is the production and what is demand. Production of A. Look at the triangular symbols first. It is 1450. Then after 3660. Then after 3100. Then after triangular symbol 4200. 3700. 4500. Then after write down production also. So production is, so I have written production, write down demand. Demand is 2100, 3150, then 2600, 5000, 2800, 3300. These are the demands. He is asking you to find out the average and find out the difference between them. But instead what I am doing here, I am just finding the difference and then I am going to find out the average. Now look at here, the difference is how much? 550 plus 100. So 650, that is minus, subtract it. Then here I would say 150 plus 450 plus 60, 510, that is plus 510. Here straight away 500 is the difference. Straight away minus 800. Here straight away 37 minus 28 is 900. Here 45, 33 is 1200. Find out the sum of differences. Look at the sum of differences here. This is plus 100. Plus 100, if I do it here, minus 550. Minus 550, then these two if you combine, it is minus 40. Keep minus 40 as it is. Now you are getting how much? 500 minus 40, 440 plus 1200. I'm going to get 1640 divided by, there are 6 companies, so find out the average of them. I know 6 2s are. Then after you will be left with 4. Then I can say 6 7s are 42. Then after you are left with 2. Therefore, I can say 7 3s are. So approximately it is around 275. So the answer is 275. On the graph also you can find out the differences. In order to make it clear, I have written the values, but it is up to you to find out the differences, but make sure that you give positive and negative signs. See, when you are getting a positive sign, when production is more than the difference, you are getting a positive sign. When production is less than the demand, then you are getting a negative sign. When demand is more, you are getting a negative sign. When production is more, you are getting a positive sign. So how many companies have more production? There are 4 companies more production, then there are 2 companies whose demand is more than the production. The production of company A is approximately what percent of the demand of company C? Production means a triangular symbol and it is for A. A is 1450. So he is asking you 1450 is approximately what percent of demand of company C? Now demand is a square, C is 2600 into 100. Forget about this 100, but I would say 2600, 50% of 2600 is 1300. And what is 5%? 50% is 1300 means 5% is 130. My aim is to bring this 1450, therefore I am getting only 1430. This 1450 is little bit more than 1430, but in the option we don't have little bit more than this 55%. Therefore, I would consider my option as 55% because it is very close to 55%. Actually, even if you take that 20 is the difference, right? That is not even 1%. So your approximate answer would be 55.5 or 55.7 around. But he is asking you approximately and he is not giving you any close value to 55. So accept your answer as 55%. Look at the next one. What is the ratio of companies having more demand than production to those having more production than demand? See, we have seen more demand than production. More demand than production means the negative values we got. There are 2 negative values. And more production than demand. More production than demand, there are 4. See, more production than demand, just triangle should be more than square. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are 4 companies, rest are 2 companies, demand is more. Therefore, what is the ratio? 1:2, 2 here. So I hope you understood the line graph. So this is how we derive the values from the line graph. Again, the basics of line graphs are simply percentages and ratios and the averages only. Now we will look at the bar graphs. The question is, what is the ratio of total exports of car A in 2014 and 2018? 2014 the data is 200. 2018 the data is 300. Put together it is 500. The blue color one if you look at. And the maroon color one if you look at. Cars of type B in 2015 and 2016. 2015 it is 250. 2016 it is 200. Therefore, put together it is 450. If you cancel 0 and 0, 5 table you can cancel it. 5 10s are 50. Then 5 9s are. So answer is simply 10:9. The next one, in which year the exports of cars of type A was 10% less than the average expenditure per year of cars of type A over the 5 years. So over the 5 years, in which year it was if you find out the average, I want less than 10% of the average is which year he is asking you. Which year exports is 10% less than the average exports of all the year compared. Now look at all the years and he is asking you for A starting with 200. 200 round figures you can add it. 200 plus 300, 500, 275 plus 175, 450, then after you have 150. So 600 plus 500 is 1100. 1100 is the total, but the average is divided by 5, then you get 220. Therefore, 220 is the average. I want it to be 10% less than the average. What is 10% of 220? It is 22. Therefore, it must be very close to 198. Which data is very close to 198? Obviously, in which year? This is very close to 198. So, in 2014, the data is very close to 198. The bar graph shows again the same graph. He is asking you the total exports of cards of type A in 2014 to 2017. From 2014 to 2017, type A, we know it is 200. We know this is 450, 600 plus 200, 800. What percent less than the total exports of the cards of type B from 2015 to 18? 15 to 18 type B, 250, 200, 450, plus you have 525, 325 plus 275, that is 600. 600 plus 450 is 1050. So, when you compare with 1050 to 800, is asking you percentage less. Percentage less means percentage decrease. Now, all you need to find out is percentage decrease. 0, 0 cancel. 5 table you cancel it, it becomes how much? 21. 5 table you cancel it is 16. Therefore, I can say percentage decrease is, it is 5 upon 21 into 100. 500 by 21. If I take it as 20, our answer would have been 25, because 20 into 25 is 500, but it is little more. Therefore, our answer should be little less than 25%. So, little less than 25% in the given option is 23.8. So, the only option which is little less than 25 is 23.8. Okay. You have to go with the approximation. Don't try to find out the exact answer when you know the approximation in the exam, because look at the options given. There are two options which are greater than 25, so you don't need to care about it, and one option which is 14.3, which is far more lesser than 25. So, 14.3 is not your answer. Your answer must be very close to 25, that is 23.8, and that too little lesser than 25. This is also another type of bar graph. Now, you can actually represent this graph in actually line also. Study the graph and answer the question that follows. You call it as histograms. Okay, sometimes you can write it in terms of table, and you can take the class interval and you can show the same graph. But you have shown in bar. Look at what it says. What is the ratio of the total number of workers whose daily wages are lesser than 500 to the total number of workers whose daily wages are for 600 and above? Look at the graph. Number of workers given 400 to 450, 450 to 500. There are 30 workers which are in between 400 to 450, and there are 45 workers which are in between 45 to 450 to 500. So, now he is asking you how many of them were less than 500. Less than 500, I would simply say 30 plus 45, that is 75 members are less than 500. And how many of them were more than 600? More than 600, 55 plus 35, that is 90. Therefore, the ratio is 5:6. So, the ratio is 5:6. Answer is 4. Look at the next one. Now, look at this question. Similar type, but different values are given here. The number of students who's obtained less than 300 marks is what percent more than the number of students who obtained 350 or more marks? He is asking you more, which means percentage increase. First, how many of the members are getting less than 300 marks? Less than 300 is 30 plus 60, 90 plus 45, 135. So, 135 is less than 300 is what percent more, right? So, then 350 or more. 350 or more is last two bars. That's 40 plus 35, 75. Right? He is asking you percentage increase. Percentage increase, you can cancel it in 15 table. 15 5s, then after 15 9s. Percentage increase means percentage more here. You can say 4 increased upon 5 into 100. 4 by 5 is nothing but 80%. Therefore, it is actually 80% more. Study the given graph and answer the question that follows. Distribution age-wise of patients being treated in a hospital in a city. It is given from 0 to 10, 10 to 20. That is the age groups, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and so on, and number of patients also given. So, generally we call it actually the data and the frequency. So, these are the class intervals, then that is a frequency. So, they have given complete histograms here. The number of patients aged 10 or more years but below 40 years is what percent less? 10 or more but below 40. So, 10 or more below 40 means in between 10 to 40, that is 14, 20, 24. So, I would say 38, 58. So, first data is 58. Is what percent less? Percentage less means percentage decrease than the number of patients aged 50 or more but less than 80. So, 50 to 80 he is asking you. 50 to 80 if you look at 32, 26, 22. I would say 2 plus 6 plus 2, 10, 3 plus 2 plus 2, 70 plus 10, it's 80. But he is asking you percentage decrease, first the greater value, then the lesser value. Cancel it if you can. 2 table it is 40, 29. It's 11 decrease upon 40 into 100. 0, 0 cancel. 110 by 4. It's actually 27.5. Or else if you know what is by 40, we all know 10 by 40 is 1 by 4 which is 25%. We know 1 by 40 is 2.5. Add them, you will get 11 by 40 which is 27.5. In the previous class also we have seen 19 by 40, that was 47.5. I also told you what is 21 by 40, that is 52.5. You can get these things, the basics of these things will be cleared in your percentages chapter. Study the given graph and answer the question that follow. Production of exports of the computers in thousands by company XYZ in 6 years. Now, production is given in blue color, exports were given in orange color. By what percent were the total exports of computers by company in 2013, 2014 and 2018? Less than means percentage decrease anyway, but first find out. Exports are actually orange color, 13, 14, 18. So, look at 13, 14, 18 first. 13 is 140, 14 is 240, then 18 is 270. So, I would say 40, 40, 80 plus 70, 150, keep it aside. After that 100 plus 200, 300, 300 plus 200, 500. So, 500 if you add it, it is 650. Less than the total production of computers in 2015 to 2017. So, total production from, production is a blue color, 15 to 17, 300, 290, 340. 340 plus 290 is 630 plus 300 is 930. So, when you compare to 930, this 650 is how much less or what percent decrease? Percentage less or percentage decrease, both of them are same. When you want to find out percentage more, first keep the lower value, then the higher value. When you want to find out the percentage less, first keep the higher value, then the lower value. Now, what is the difference here? The difference here is 280. 0, 0 you cancel, you can get 28 upon 93 into 100. By looking at it, we can say 93, 10% of 93. 10% of 93 is 9.3. Then into 3 if you do it, 30% is going to be 27.9. But I want 28 which is little bit more than 30. So what is the option which is little bit more than 30? If you look at here, it is 30.1 by using the approximation. These approximations are very important. We have discussed it in detail in percentage chapter. Look at this sum. Total production of computers in 2013, 15, 18. He's asking you production, that is blue color, in the year 2013, then after 2015, then after 2018. 320 plus 180, 500, 500 plus 300 is 800, is X% of the total exports during all the 6 years. Total exports, add all the orange colored, first add all the tens, 40 plus 40, then after you have 40 plus 40, 80, 80 plus 70, 150, 150 plus 50, 200, keep it aside. Then after add all the hundreds, 100 plus 200, 1 plus 2, 3, 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 3, 8, 8 plus 5, 1300. So 1300 plus 200 is 1500. Now he is simply asking you 800 is what percent of 1500, forget about zeros. He is asking you 8 is what percent of 15. Cancel it in 5 table 3s. 160 by 3. So I would say 5, then 3s. Remaining is 1. 53 1 by 3 percentage. So simple is asking you X is what percent of Y. So X here is 800 is what percent. Instead of asking what percent, he also said X% of 800 is X% of 1500. Actually 800 is 53 1 by 3% of 1500. So X value is 53 1 by 3. In which year was the production of computers by company 16% more than the average exports of the computers in 6 years? Just now we have seen the total exports all 6 years is 1500. You just divide it by 6, you will get average. On an average it is 250. And it is 16% more he is asking you. What is 16% more? What is 16% of 250? 16 by 100 into 250. 55s, 52s. Therefore, it is 40. 250 plus 40 is 290. I am asking you in which year the production is equals to 290. Look at this is 180, this is 280, this is 300, this is 290. So 290 is the production in the year 2016. So the answer is 2016. So that's all we have seen about bar graphs. So be careful when you are looking at the year and production or exports or companies or any particular value. It's very important how do you interpret the value. Again, the basics when it comes to basics, it's always averages, percentages and ratio proportions only. Thank you.